Okay, sir.
Okay. Today's topic is corona. Not the corona we know. It is a different thing. Okay, understand? So what we have done in our previous
Yes,
class?
sir.
Okay, previous class. In the previous class, we have done with gathering, right? Okay, wait a second. Okay. So in our last class, we have done a gathering math. I told you to study at your home. You can do it, right? I told you. Hello? Hello? Ibrahim?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, you have done it, right?
Yes, sir.
That one is very easy, so you do not have to
Yeah.
panic. That wasn't very easy. This is the only thing that is changed, that is the capacitor value. The value
Yep.
that is close to the conductor, that is different. That is 0.1, that is 0.3. Normally, if there is no gathering, that means that is 0.1, that is also 0.1. But when there is a gathering, the capacitor value increases. Okay, capacitor value increases. In that time, the efficiency also increases. So you see, the efficiency become 95%. Previously, the efficiency was never 95%, never. It was 85, 80, something like that, 67, 60, 76, something like that. But when you use a guard ring, in that time, your efficiency rises up to 95%. So that is huge. Here you can see, okay, no, this is not a good math. So today we will be starting our new topic, that is corona. There is a completely theory, no math involved. There is some math, but we're not going to do those math. So what is corona? Corona is not the virus we know. Corona is an, what is that? When an alternating potential difference is applied across two conductor whose spacing is large as compared to their diameter, there is no apparent change in the condition of the atmospheric air surrounding the wire if applied voltage is low. However, when the applied voltage exceeds a certain value, a critical disruptive voltage, the conductors are surrounded by a faint violet glow called corona. Okay, got my point? So what happens when the voltage you apply in a conductor is bigger than critical disruptive voltage? That time the conductors are being surrounded by a faint violet glow, which is called corona. So the phenomenon of violet glow, hissing noise, and production of ozone gas in an overhead transmission line is known as corona. That means when your conductor is having a big amount voltage, that time a violet glow will form, some noise will be there, and some production of ozone gas. Do you know ozone gas? O3, ozone gas. Oxygen is O2, ozone gas is O3. Okay, ozone gas will form around the transmission line. That phenomenon is called corona. Let me show you a picture. If I write corona, normally the corona will come up, right? But previously, corona effect. If I write corona effect, you will see, if in the picture, you will see something like this. Okay? This is called corona effect. See, can you see the transmission lines are glowing? Can you see the transmission lines are glowing?
Yes, sir.
This is the transmission line. See the weather is not good. The weather is stormy, right? When the weather is stormy, that time you will see the transmission lines are glowing. Okay? This phenomenon is called, wait a minute. This phenomenon is called corona effect. Sometimes you will see something like this. Some sparkly violet glow. Okay? Or sometimes you will see something like this. Wait a minute. Let me show you a picture. No, little amount of pictures are there because nobody goes under the transmission line in a stormy weather. This is a corona effect, okay? So violet glow are there. So this sort of phenomenon happens when your critical disruptive voltage is occur, okay? So if the conductors are polished and smooth, the corona glow will be uniform throughout the length of the conductor. Otherwise, the rough point will appear brighter. So if the conductor is polished and very smooth, the corona will be very uniform like tube light. Okay? But when the conductors are not polished and not smooth, that means rough, those points will be brighter. With DC voltage, there is difference in appearance of the two wires. The disruptive wire has uniform glow about it, while the negative conductor, okay, do not read that. Theory of corona formation, I do not have to read it as well. You can read by yourself. Factors affecting corona. We will talk about this. First of all, first effect is atmosphere. If the atmosphere is bad, there is a very good chance of having a corona. As corona is formed due to the ionization of air surrounding the conductors. Therefore, it is affected by the physical state of the atmosphere. In stormy weather, the number of ions is more than normal, and such corona occurs at much less voltage as compared with the fair weather. That means when your weather is bad, that time the number of ions in your air is much more than the normal weather. In that cases, your corona will occur at less voltage than fair weather. That means, in other words, corona will occur more in stormy weather. Corona will occur less in normal weather. Actually, corona never occurs in normal weather. In 99% of the cases. Conductor size, number 2. The corona effect depends upon the shape and the conductor of the condition of the conductor. The rough and irregular surface will give rise to more corona because unevenness of the surface decreases the value of breakdown voltage. Remember, the rough and irregular conductor size or conductor or surface will give rise to more corona because the unevenness of the surface decreases the value of breakdown voltage. Thus, a stranded conductor has irregular surface and hence give rise to more corona than a solid conductor. Solid conductors give you less corona, and irregular surface or stranded. Stranded means pakano. What is stranded? What do you mean by stranded? Stranded means this one. That's right. Okay, see this picture. This one is stranded conductor. This one is solid conductor. Solid conductor will give you less corona. Stranded conductor will give you more corona. Okay, understood? Now, spacing between conductors. The spacing. If the spacing between the conductor is made very large as compared to the diameter, there may not be any corona effect. It is because large diameter, large distance between conductors reduces the electrostatic stresses at the conductor surface, thus avoiding the corona formation. That means if the conductors are spaced, okay, one conductor is like this, another conductor is here. If the conductor is spaced a lot further, that means no corona will occur. If they placed at a lower distance or a less distance in between them, the corona will occur, okay? So spacing between conductors is huge. But remember, if you increase the space between conductor, that will increase the cost of your tower. That means bigger tower. Line voltage. The line voltage greatly affect corona, very much affect corona, okay? Why? Because if you give the voltage bigger, or if you make your voltage bigger, what will happen? It will exceed the critical disruptive voltage. Okay, it will exceed the critical disruptive voltage. That voltage will give rise to corona. Okay, understand? So that's why there is a limit of voltage that you can give to avoid corona. If you cross that limit, you will have corona in normal weather as well. In normal weather as well. So important terms, number one is critical disruptive voltage. This is the minimum phase neutral voltage at which the corona occurs. This is the minimum phase to neutral voltage at which corona occurs. That means if you give more voltage than this voltage, corona will definitely occur. If you give less voltage than this critical disruptive voltage, corona will not occur in normal weather. Okay? Now, what is the critical disruptive voltage? Normally it is how much? Maybe 30 kilovolt per centimeter. Okay, so you do not have to go through this because this is not that important. Just know what is that, what is the factors affecting corona, what are the advantages of corona, and what are the disadvantages of corona. Corona is a loss, remember. So there are many disadvantages than advantages, but there are some advantages as well. Let's read about those. Corona has many advantages and disadvantages. In the correct design of a high voltage overhead line, the balance should be struck between the advantage and disadvantage. Due to the corona formation, the air surrounding the conductor become conducting. That means what? That means let's say this is a conductor, okay? So what will happen? This is a okay, no, I'm going to choose a different color. Let's say this is a conductor. So when corona occurs, you will see a violet glow. Around it, okay? A violet glow. What happens actually now? Here, previously your diameter was this. This was the diameter previously. So this is the diameter at which current can go. When corona forms, the effective or the virtual diameter increases. Now your diameter increases, so your current losses will be less. That means your voltage drop will be less now. Because more conductor, that means the bigger the conductor, that means smaller the current. That means the smaller the resistance, that means the smaller the voltage drop. Okay? So your resistance decreases, so your drop decreases. That is one advantage. Corona reduces the effect of transient produces by surges. So when there is any surge voltage means when there is a lightning or when there is a transient surge. Transient surge means normally your wave look like this. Okay, but when there is any surge, that time your wave will give an immediate impact, then it will become normal. So this immediate impact is called the surge, okay, or transient surge or transient. This is called transients. This is bad for your system. Remember, corona reduces it. So this is one advantages. Now the disadvantage, obviously, corona is a loss. Corona is accompanied with the loss of energy because there is a violet glow, there is a hissing sound, there is a ozone production. So this is a loss. This affects the transmission efficiency of the line. Ozone is produced by the corona and may cause corrosion of the conductor due to chemical action. Ozone gas is not good for your conductor surface. Okay, the surface become rough day by day. Maybe you have you placed one very shiny surface. You've placed one very shiny conductor in your transmission line. But due to the ozone formation, the shiny surface will become rough day by day. So more corona will occur, more loss will happen. The current drawn by the line due to corona is non-sinusoidal. Hence, non-sinusoidal voltage drop occurs in the line. This may cause inductive interference with the neighboring communication lines. That means the current that drawn by the corona is non-sinusoidal. That means that causes non-sinusoidal voltage drop in the line. This may cause inductive interference with the neighboring communication line. This is a problem. Methods of reducing corona effect. What are the methods? There are two methods actually. Number one, by increasing the conductor size, you will increase the conductor size. That means you will make the conductor bigger. Or you increase the conductor spacing. You increase the conductor spacing. That means the space between two conductors, you make it big. But remember, you need a bigger cross arms and bigger support. It will increase the cost as well. There is one more method of reducing corona effect, that is increasing the voltage. No, decreasing the voltage, not increasing. Decreasing the voltage. If you decrease the voltage, corona will not occur. But decreasing the voltage will increase the losses. So that is not an option. That is not an option. So good options are increasing the conductor size and increasing the conductor spacing. Those are the actually physical control of yours, not the electrical controls. So this is the theory of corona. Now our big topic is sag. Sag in overhead lines. Now how many classes do we have before the final?
Maybe 5 or 4, sir. Not much more.
Okay. So sag. So sag is a very important topic for us. We will spend 2 classes on sag. 2 classes. Okay. So sag in overhead lines. The difference in level between points of support and the lowest point of the conductor is called sag. What do I mean by that? Okay, the conductors are not parallel to the ground. The conductors are not parallel to the ground. When the conductors are hanged in between 2 towers, the middle part of the conductor goes down due to the gravity. Okay, that is called sag. Sag is the difference between the level of highest point and the lowest point. That means the height difference. Where it was supposed to be and where it is. That is called sag. The difference is called sag. The sag is the difference in level between points of support and the lowest point of the conductor. So this is sag. So why sag happens? Due to gravity. Okay. Now the calculation of sag. Wait a minute. The calculation of sag, when supports are at equal level and when the supports are not at equal level, they are unequal. That means when the towers are equal, that means the highest points are at the same level, that time you will have a sag. And when the supports are at unequal level, that time you will have a sag. Now there is a sag derivation. Normally I go through the derivation, but since we do not have enough classes, so we will just memorize the formula and solve the maths. Okay. Normally when I have 7, 8, 9 classes, that time I will be solving the derivation. But since we do not have enough classes, so we will take this formula and solve the math, because the solving the math is important, more important. Okay. So now, what is the sag? The formula here. Remember the difference between this point and this point. That means the difference between, that means the distance between two towers is L. Okay. And the point, the highest point and the lowest point, that is called sag. That is called S. Okay. And the X. No, X is not needed. Remember, the formula is, let's say, you have a point P here at somewhere, and your lowest point is O. So the distance between O to P is X. The height between O and P is Y. So your sag, that means the distance, that means the Y. Y will be Wx squared divided by 2T. What is T? T is the tension. This T is the tension of the conductor. If the tension is more, remember, if the tension is more, that means you have less sag. If the tension is less, you have more sag. That's why it is at the bottom. So remember this distance, this Y, this distance is equal to Wx squared divided by 2T. What is W? W is the weight, the equivalent weight, Wx squared divided by 2T. Now, if we consider the whole sag, your Y become S, your X become L by 2. Your Y become S, your X become L by 2. So if you put those here, your formula become S, that means sag, equal to WL squared divided by 8T. Okay. Now, when you have two different types of sag, that means you have two different levels of the tower. That means one tower is higher, another tower is lower. In that case, you will have two sags. One sag will be from the highest tower, another sag will be from the lowest tower. In between these two sag, the difference is H. Okay, wait a second. Assalamu alaikum. Okay. Now you will have two sag. One is S1, that is the small sag. Another one is S2, that is the big sag. So what is the difference between two sags? H. H is equal to S2 minus S1. So again, you will have two formula. Remember, one formula is S1, Wx1 square divided by 2T, and S2 will be Wx2 square divided by 2T. Remember, previously it was 80. Why? Because the sag occurs at the middle. Sag occurs at the middle. That's why it was L by 2. That's why L by 2 was used. That become 80. W x square L square divided by 80. Remember, the main formula is this one. Main formula is this one. W x square divided by 2t. But since your x is L by 2 in our equal sag, that become 80. So S is equal to W L square 80. Now, for unequal sag, here, I'm going to write the formula. S1 will be, again, W, not L. It should be X. X square divided by 2t. What is X? X is the distance between tower and the point, at the lowest point actually, sag point. Remember, right now the sag point will not be at the middle because the tower is not level. That's why sag will occur at not the middle, somewhere else. So that's why x1 is given. X1 is the distance between tower and the sag point. That's why it is given. What about the S2? S2 will be again the same formula. W x square divided by 2t. What is x? X is x2, this one. So between the tower and the sag point. So this is one formula, this is another formula. And what is H? H is equal to bigger sag minus smaller sag. It is 1. Okay, that is H. Understand? Okay, now let's get back to the math. Okay, by the way, there are other two formulas as well. X and X2, X1 and X2. Your X1 is this one. X1 is equal to L by 2 minus TH by WL. X2 is equal to L by 2 plus TH by WL. From where it has come from? It has come from S2 and S1. If you subtract S2 and S1, the value is H. So if you put the value of S2, if you put the value of S1, you will get something like this. W by 2t x2 square minus x1 square. Here you can write x2 plus x1, x2 minus x1. X2 plus x1 is equal to L because that is the distance. So you put it there, you will find something like this. From there, if you calculate algebraically, you will get x1 and x2. X1 is equal to L by 2, 3th by WL. X2 is equal to L by 2 plus th by WL. You can do it by yourself, no problem. Now let's have the let's look at the effect of wind and ice loading. Remember, if there is any ice, what happens? The diameter increases. That means the weight increases, right? So your normal weight and your ice weight will work directly at the bottom, and your wind works 90 degrees towards the ground. That means your ice loading and your normal loading works perpendicular to the ground. Your wind loading works parallel to the ground. So your resultant, your conductor, your actual conductor will be here, because you have ice and you have normal weight and you have wind. So both of them will make your conductor like this. This is your WT. WT means total weight. Okay, WT means total weight. So your total weight formula will be this one. WT is equal to root over W plus WI square divided by WW square. Here, this is the wind load. If there is no, this is the ice load. If there is no ice, it will be 0. If there is no wind, this will be 0. Okay, that's it. Here, you might have an effect called vertical sag. What is vertical sag? Vertical sag, okay, it is very hard to describe. Okay, we will talk about the vertical sag later. That means in the next class. Now we will calculate some What is that? Calculate some sag math. Number 1, 8.17. A 132 kilovolt transmission line has the following data. Weight of the conductor is 680 kg per meter. That is the weight, that is the W. Only W, not wind, not ice. Length of the span, 260 meter, that means it is the L. Ultimate strength is 3100 kg. Remember, 3100 kg, that is the ultimate strength. That is the normal, that is not the normal strength. That is the ultimate strength. That means after this weight, your conductor will break. And safety factor is equal to 2. Safety factor 2 means that means your normal strength is half of it. Safety factor 2 means whatever the strength you have right now, whatever the tension you have right now, the ultimate strength is double. That means your tension is this divided by this. So you got your T. So your W is equal to weight of the conductor per meter, 680 kg per kilometer, divide by 1000, that become kg per meter. Okay? Remember, everything should be in kg per meter, or everything will be in meter. So 680 kg per kilometer divided by 1000, that become 0.68 kg per meter. That is the weight of the conductor. Now the working tension T is equal to ultimate strength divided by safety factor, 3100 kg divided by 2, 1550 kg. Your length is equal to 260 meter. So your sag, since the sag is normal sag, that means the equal sag, that's why sag is equal to WL square 8T. WL square 8T, you got 3.7 meter. That means if this is your tower, if this is the conductor, this gap is 3.7 meter. Okay, understand? Okay, they said calculate the height above the ground at which the conductor should be supported. Ground clearance is 10 meter. That means you have to calculate the tower height so that you get a 10 meter of clearance. If this is 10 meter and if this is 3.7 meter, so how much is the tower height? 13.7, right? So that is the clearance. Why this is necessary? Let's say you want to take a conductor over a road, right? And in the road there are lots of buses, trucks, and something like that. So you need a clearance of 10 meter. So how much will be your tower height? This is how you calculate. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if anyone asks you, okay, what is the tower height? What should be the tower height? You have to calculate this. Then you have to say, okay, since our biggest bus is 10 meter or 9.5 meter, so let's say our clearance is 10 meter. Since we use this conductor, the weight of the conductor is 680 kg per kilometer. So ultimate distance is this much. So the road size, that means the road is 260 meter. Okay, the tower height should be 13.7 meter at least. Understand? This is how you calculate. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's why sag is necessary. Now, next one. Oh, next one they said vertical sag. Okay. Okay, let's do it. They said a transmission line has a span of 150 meter between level support. That means that is the L. Okay. That is the L. The conductor has a cross-section area of 2 centimeter square. The tension of the conductor is 2000 kg. The specific gravity of the material is 9.9 gram per centimeter cube. The wind pressure is 1.5 kg per meter. Calculate the sag. What is the vertical sag? Okay, let's find out the sag first. Here, your L is 150. Your working tension is 2000 kg. Your wind force per meter is 1.5. That is the WW wind. 1.5 kg. Weight of the conductor per meter of length. W is equal to specific gravity and volume of one conductor. That means specific gravity into volume. Okay, here the weight is not given directly. Rather, they have given a weight of per centimeter cube. So we have to find out how much centimeter cube we have in 1 meter of length. They say the cross-sectional area, okay, two centimeter square. So let's say this is a conductor. Here the area is this one, right? 2 centimeter square. And the length is this one, 1 meter into 1 meter. In place of 1 meter, let's write centimeter square. Let's say centimeter. 100 what? Centimeter, right? That is the volume. That means 200 centimeter cube. Now, this is centimeter cube. What is the volume? See, 9.9 gram per centimeter cube. That means 1 centimeter cube is 9.9 gram. What about 200?
Nine.
into 200, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
that is the weight of 1 meter length of conductor. So 1980 gram, that means if you divide by 1000, it becomes 1.98 kg. That means almost 2 kg. Okay, that is W. So what is the weight of 1 meter conductor length? What is the WT? Because you have wind, remember. So the formula was WT equal to root over W plus W ice whole square, remember? Plus wind square. Since you do not have any ice, so we can make it 0. Can we? Okay, so this is 0.
Yes,
So
sir.
W square plus WW square. So W square plus WW square. Okay, that's it. So 1.98 whole square, 1.5 square, so 2.48 kg. That is your WT. What is your sag? Your sag will be, this is normal sag, normal. Remember, there is normal sag. There is one more sag that is called vertical sag. Two are different. I'll explain what is that. Okay? Now, normal sag is WT L square divided by 8T, 2.48 into 150 whole square, 8 into 2000, so 3.48. Understand? Meter. Okay. What is vertical sag? That is different thing. Now, let me explain. Let's say you have a tower there. It's very hard to understand. It's very, very hard. This tower is 100 meter away from you. Then you have another tower. There is 100 meter closer to you, right? This is closer, that is away. Now, if you have a conductor, so how I am seeing this? I am actually seeing this vertically. That means, do you understand what I am seeing? What I am saying? Do you understand what I am saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
That means
sir.
you are not looking at these like these. No, not like that. You are actually looking like this. That means like this. From where? From this side. You are actually looking it from this side, not from the vertical side. Understand?
Yes, sir.
You're
Yes,
actually
sir.
looking
Yes,
from
sir.
this side.
Absolutely.
So if you look it from this side, you will see a normal line, right?
Yes, sir.
Normal line. So
With no sag.
if there is if there is no wind, it will be like this.
Yes,
So
sir.
these will be called normal sag. Okay? But if there is any wind, let's say if there is any wind, what will happen? It will move, right? It will just go there. Because of the wind. Because of the wind, the conductor will just go there, right? See, the sag remains same, right?
Yes, sir.
So the sag remains same, but the ground clearance, look at this. The ground clearance is now a bit bigger. Can you see that? Can you see the ground clearance a bit bigger now?
Yes, sir.
Previously, the ground clearance was this. Now the ground clearance is this. So that's why we need a vertical sag. If there is any wind, the sag remains same, but the what? But the ground clearance increases. So that's why we need to find out the vertical sag. Vertical sag is this one. This is called vertical sag. Normally, if there is no wind, normal sag is actually your vertical sag. But if there is any wind, your normal sag is bigger than vertical sag. Okay? If there is any wind, sag is bigger than vertical sag. That means your vertical sag decreases. If you have no wind, your vertical sag and your normal sag are same. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's find out the sag. For finding out the sag, you have to calculate. Okay, which one you need? You need this length, right? So let's do some algebra. Here, here, here. This was your, no. This was your tower. This is your vertical sag. This is your normal sag, right? Which one you have to find out? What you have to find out? You have to find out these, right? You already found out these. This is your S. This is your VS, that means vertical sag. So which one you know? You actually know these, right? You know S.
Yes.
But do you know VS?
No, sir.
No, for finding out these, you need to find out the angle. Right? You need to find out the angle. So how can you, oh my God. So how can you find out the angle? So this is
Using algebra.
this is the algebra, the trigonometry. This is the perpendicular. This is the base. This is the hypotenuse. So which one it will be? Bhumi by Otibhus. That means base or Otibhus. Okay. Cos theta.
Cos. It will be cos, sir.
It will be cos theta, right? Cos
Yes,
theta
sir.
will be Bhumi by Otibhus. What is Bhumi? Bhumi is the vertical sag.
S.
VS divided by Otibhus. That means the hypotenuse. So cos theta is equal to base divided by hypotenuse. Base is this one, Bhumi. Bhumi by Otibhus. That means the Bengali also. The Bengali, the Bhumi or Otibhus. That means base and hypotenuse. So base divided by hypotenuse is equal to cos. So here, so cos theta into S equal to what? Vertical sec, right? So that is the formula. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, how to find out the theta? How to find out the theta? there is a easy method. What is that method? No. The method is, we do not know the VS, we only know S, but we know something else. We know
90 degree.
No. We know W plus WI. This is WT. And in this case, this is WW, right? They have the same angle. If I can find out the same angle, we can find out the VS, right? Remember here, what we do not know, we only know S. If we know theta, we can find out the VS. So for finding out the theta, we have to use another parameter that has the exact same angle. So this is the WW, this is the W plus WI, this is the WW. The resultant, that means the total T will be this one. So from there, which one we know? We know WW, we know W plus WI, we know WT, we know all of it. So how can you find out the S? Okay, let's say cos. Again, let's say cos theta is equal to how much? W plus WI, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
Divided by WT. But the problem is W plus WI we cannot use because W plus WI is a bit bigger, right? So what we can use? We can actually use WW and WT. So if you use WW means what? This one, the perpendicular, right? So if you use perpendicular, divided by WT, that means lambo or otibhuj. Lambo otibhuj by lambo. Lambo by otibhuj, right? Lambo by otibhuj. That means your perpendicular divided by your hypotenuse. Lambo by otibhuj. That means that will be sine. Which one?
Fine.
That will be sine theta. Sine theta is equal to WW divided by WT. If we use these, we can find out the value of theta. From there, we can find the value of cos theta, vertical sec. Okay, let's see what they have done. Here, what they found, they actually found out the tan theta, not sine. Okay, no problem. We will use tan theta. So tan theta is equal to WW divided by W. Okay, they found out this. Okay, they use this one, no problem. We can use cos theta as well. Here, they use WW divided by W is equal to tan theta. From there, they put the value 1.5. WW is 1.5. We know it. W is equal to 1.98. That we already know it. So they got 0.76. Because they didn't use WT. See, they didn't use WT because WT will be a bit smaller. WT will be a bit smaller. Why? Because if it goes like this, no. If for wind, if it goes like this will be WT, right? Up to D will be WT. That's why they didn't use WT. They actually make it a what is that? Parallelogram, and they use WW and only W. Okay, that's why they didn't use any WT. You can see. So they were smart. They didn't use any WT. So tan theta is equal to WW divided by W. 1.5 divided by 1.98. They got 0.76. From there, theta is equal to 37.23. So your vertical sag, that means VS, is equal to S cos theta. S is 3.48. Cos is cos. Theta is 37.23. Your value is 2.77. I told you before, vertical sag will be smaller. Right? If there is any wind, vertical sag will be smaller than VS, than S. That is your 2.77 vertical sag. Understand?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
that's all for today. We will finish the sag tomorrow in the next class.
Sir,
Okay? Yeah?
sir, how we can reduce
How?
sag. How we can reduce sag?
Reduce. No. Remember, there is a problem. The over sag or under sag is dangerous for you. Okay. Over sag means you are using more cable, more weight, and less ground clearance. Understand?
Yes, sir.
And more sag means, less sag means your conductor is very tight. The tension is bigger. That means it can be broken at any time. So medium sag is better. Remember, you do not reduce the sag that much, and you cannot increase the sag that much. You have to make a balance. Okay? Mohammed,
Yes, sir. Yes.
remember, more sag is bad for you. Less sag is also bad for you. So medium sag is better. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to stop the recording as well. You'll get the recording within 1 or 2 hours, maybe. Okay.